Years ago, there were movie snobs, and these were people who would sit by sipping their mimosas, saying, "Yes, I don't feel a film is actually worth watching, unless, of course, you can read the subtitles. Otherwise, well, it's not really a film, is it?" Okay, films have progressed considerably since then. Yet that old aura is sneaking its way back. Cinematic class is about to begin, and the professor is in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this review. Our lesson plan for today is Who Killed Cock Robin? Now, my intro to this is set up because probably many of you are too young to remember, but way back in the day, when foreign films were brought over to America, there was a small group of people who thought they were better than others, always had a condescending attitude, and felt that unless a film came from overseas and therefore you had to read the subtitles, that therefore it wasn't any good. And when they gathered for all their, wealthy cocktail parties and what have you, these films would always be discussed. There was one big problem, however, with these films. In the day, back in the day, which was a Wednesday, according to Dane Clark, the movies then were very poorly translated. Okay? And a lot of times when the translation was put into English subtitles, it either was fuzzy as far as what it was trying to say, or the subtitles were flashed on the screen so quickly, unless you were some kind of magical speed reader, you never had time to read the whole thing. Well, over the years, foreign filmmakers became a little bit more savvy, realized there was a much bigger audience out there than those who like to sip tea at 4 o'clock. And as a result, their movies became a lot better when they were translated and moved over here to America. Who Killed Cock Robin takes about 4 steps backwards in that movement. Folks, when I was watching this movie, some of the subtitles flashed on so fast. And it's always when you hear like all of these, like, and it comes up, yes, I can. Okay, fine. And then you hear, and 4 lines of dialogue comes on, and they keep it on for a second and a half. And you're like, what? What happened? Now, luckily, I was able to move back a little bit, hit pause, and read what the hell was going on, so I got the gist of the story. But for folks who are seeing this in the theater and not able to do that, a lot of this movie is going to pass you right by. Believe me when I tell you. And it's going to make it to end. And not only is that what makes it difficult to watch, but the cinematography in this is erratic. They start with the handheld reality type camera where it's moving, and then they go straight to a steady shot. Okay, and then they go to what they call the documentary or the New York style filmmaking. All the different styles are mishmashed into this thing, and there's no cohesiveness. Why are we doing this now and we didn't do it back then? Why don't they just pick a style and stay with it? No, they're bouncing like you would think. Maybe they used 4 different cinematographers. No, they didn't use 4 cinematographers. It's the same guy. And then this makes it even worse. And I hate to bring the guy's name up because Kippo Lin is the editor for this film. Wow, get this man some decaf. He puts this movie together as if he is riding a race car on the Hoover-Boob highway. It's amazing. It's like, what are you doing? Wow. The shame of it is that Who Killed Cock Robin has a story beneath it that is a decent thriller. It's all about a journalist who's about to lose his job because he's printed a story that has upset very wealthy and very powerful people. And as he's booted out of the newspaper or the news organization, the newspaper office, he slowly discovers that the story he reported on has ties to an accident that he witnessed years ago. Slowly but surely, through following leads, he finds out the two events are connected, and this is his way to salvage his ruined reputation and earn his way back as a prolific reporter in the news industry. Not a bad story, and it's certainly a good setup for a thriller, but I gotta tell you, if I wasn't able to pause this thing and read the dialogue lines, I would be like, what just happened there? Because it zooms by so quick, and there's no excuse for that. Not anymore, not in today's society. I mean, people should know better, and I would think that by the time this thing settles itself down, they will have re-edited this thing so that the things stay up a little bit more. But bottom line is, as it is now, that's not happening. You better brush up on your speed reading, and for God's sake, don't sneeze during one of these things, or all sections of the script are just right out of it. It reminds me back in the old days when foreign films were just totally avoided because the subtitles came up so quick and so fast you couldn't follow the story. And now this one, Who Killed Cock Robin, is just as confusing. You add that to the confusing cinematography and the editing, and you know what? This thing is a little bit more trouble than it is to watch. I have some friends who will never go to a seafood restaurant with me because they say, well, you know, I like crab, but when you order crab legs, you have to work to get the meat. You have to break the gone, you have to cut it and dig the meat out, and it's just not worth it. Okay, well, this movie might be something like that. You know, I mean, you don't mind reading a film and watching a foreign film, but when they're testing to see how fast you can read by how quick they put up the subtitles, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't a quiz, I just want to watch the movie. Who Killed Cock Robin was also the theme that was running through the Three Stooges classic Disorder in the Court. That one was a bit haywire and filled with mayhem, but it was meant to be. It was a comedy. This one is not. It's a thriller, and it needs to be a little settled down and put together a little bit better. You can see some footage for Who Killed Cock Robin and get a little bit more of a video review on this if you follow Outtakes with Fiore. The latest episode, I believe we are up to number 563. Look for it on Vimeo. Now that you have learned what you have learned, you're into through this.